Você acha que ganhando do Diego Lopes vai?
Acho caramba, eu vou quebrar ele.
I don't think this is gonna happen. I'm gonna break him. I'm gonna break his face. I'm gonna smash.
Finally. What do you think of this Jair Rodriguez possibly getting the title shot?
E essa situação do Jair Rodrigues ganhando uma chance no título?
Bom, eu acho que tudo bem que vai disputar o cinturão agora. Independente de quem vai, eu já tenho minha luta marcada. Eu vou bater no cara e o próximo a pegar o cinturão sou eu. Independente de quem vai lutar. E tá tudo bem. Se você quiser voltar o Jair Rodrigues, Diego Lopes, Iron Leader, qualquer pessoa. É o cara que vai bater o jogo.
Independently of whether he's got a fight schedule, let the UFC put him there. It's going to be Yair. If the UFC wants to put Mozart, they have to put Iron Pico. It doesn't matter. Put him out there. It doesn't matter because I'm going to beat up on Diego.
The main event. Diego Lopes, 22 of his 26 wins have come by finish. He'll be taking on Jean Silva, who's on a 13-fight win streak, with every one of those ending by finish.
Brazilian knockout artist Jean Silva has sent a bone-chilling warning to his upcoming opponent, Diego Lopes, ahead of their Noche UFC headliner. Silva didn't mince words, telling Lopes he's essentially signed his own coffin by agreeing to this fight. The Brazilian phenom claims Lopes made a crucial mistake that could end his title hopes for good. Let's break down this developing story and what it means for the featherweight landscape.
You got Diego. What do you think about that fight?
Pô, o Diego até agora não conseguiu nem me olhar na cara. Imagina como que vai ser na luta, meu parceiro. Irmão, esquece agora, vou falar dessa parte. Esquece essa parte de Diego, Jean ou outros atletas. Assim. O mundo inteiro vai estar vendo vários atletas representar o México, a independência do México. Então, isso é mais importante do que eu espancar o Diego Lopes.
I mean, Diego hasn't been able to look at my face. He hasn't looked at me in the eye ever. So, but you know what? Independently of that, of the rivalry or what's being said and the fight, we're all going to be representing, every athlete there is going to be representing Mexico and the independence of Mexico. And it's a great night. Even more so than me beating up on him. Why should fans watch your fight over Canelo Crawford on the same day?
Porque eles vão ter duas vantagens. Eles vão ver um MMA com alta qualidade e um boxeador igual o Canelo batendo num cara que não sabe se é brasileiro ou mexicano.
Well, because there's two things. First of all, they're going to watch MMA at the highest level on a great night. And also, they're going to see someone who boxes like Canelo beating up on a fighter that doesn't know whether he's Mexican or Brazilian.
Jean Silva is not holding back in his assessment of Diego Lopes' decision-making. The undefeated UFC prospect believes his opponent sealed his own fate when he bypassed his management team to call for this fight. Speaking to MMA Junkie, Silva revealed, "I understand that for Diego's manager, fighting me is not something he was going to go for. But then Diego went online and made some statements about how he would fight me over the weekend if he could. So basically, Diego was doing matchmaking and had signed on his coffin already." Silva didn't stop there, adding this ominous promise: "If that's where he wants to be, I'll just put some dirt on that coffin."
I understand that Diego's manager didn't, that was not, fighting me is not something that he was going to go for. Perhaps didn't want it either. But then Diego just went online and stuff and made some statements about the fact that he would fight me over the weekend if he could. So basically, Diego was doing matchmaking and basically signed on this coffin already. So screw that. That's it. He signed on it. So if that's what he wants to be, I'll just put some dirt on that coffin.
This isn't just typical fight promotion trash talk, folks. Silva genuinely believes Lopes made a career-threatening error by taking this fight, and he's planning to make his opponent pay for it at the Frostbank Center in San Antonio on September 13th. So how did we get here? The path to this fight reveals just how dangerous Silva has become in the featherweight division.
Did you guys hear the story about his mom, Jean Silva?
No.
His mom killed like 3 dudes that were trying to assault her, and he witnessed.
Jean Silva's mom was arrested for killing 3 men after they all assaulted her together. John, who was only a boy at the time, watched the whole thing.
You barking up the wrong tree,
When John's brother bought him a dog, he started barking as a way to show his emotion. This eventually evolved into a nervous tic and he was bullied for it. But after his brother was killed, he turned the nervous tic into a war cry, saying that when he's in the cage, it feels like his brother is right there with him.
According to Silva, the UFC offered him several big-name opponents, but they all turned him down. These established fighters looked at Silva's resume, 5 straight UFC finishes, and decided the risk wasn't worth the reward. Even Yair Rodriguez, who was supposedly lined up for a title eliminator with Lopes, mysteriously got injured and bowed out.
He needs to try and be reckless in catching them. That's his best chance. So he's going to do what we all know he's going to do and what he's been doing, which is exciting for the fans, but it opens a lot of doors for me.
This left Diego Lopes in an interesting position. He could either take a dangerous fight against a hungry up-and-comer or sit on the sidelines waiting for something better. According to Silva, Lopes' manager Jason House was firmly against this matchup from the start, probably looking at Silva's resume and seeing nothing but red flags. But then Lopes went rogue on social media, essentially calling out Silva for a fight. Silva sees this as the moment his opponent made his crucial mistake, making a business decision with his emotions instead of his brain. It's a classic case of a fighter getting caught up in the heat of the moment, and Silva is convinced it's going to cost Lopes dearly. This isn't just about business for Silva. There's genuine personal dislike brewing between these two fighters. Silva has been surprisingly candid about why he can't stand Lopes. In his own words, "It's no secret to anyone that I don't like the person that he is. In Brazil, we say, our saints don't match. Our guardian angels don't go well together. We're in a line of business where if our auras don't match, we can beat the hell out of each other."
That's being said since then. How do you feel about him right now?
God, you know when you have a relative that in Brazil we say our saints don't match. You know, our guardian angels don't go well together. Like they don't like each other. So that's what we say in Brazil. The saints don't match there. So basically, you know what? There's like even a relative of yours that you see every time you see them in family reunions, like this doesn't go well together. Like I just don't like this, but we don't match, we don't connect, but you can't beat them up. Well, we're in the line of business, but when our auras don't match, we can actually beat the hell out of each other. So as it turns out, two people who just don't go well with each other are able to fight. So I get to beat them up. I understand that the manager didn't, that was not, fighting me is not something that he was going to go for. Perhaps didn't want it either. But then Diego just went online and stuff and made some statements about the fact that he would fight me over the weekend if he could. So basically, Diego was doing matchmaking and basically signed on this coffin already. So screw that. I mean, that's it. I mean, he signed on it. So if that's what he wants to be, I'll just put some dirt on that coffin.
Silva also took a shot at Lopes' cultural identity, saying he plans to beat up on a guy that doesn't know if he's Mexican or Brazilian, a reference to Lopes representing Mexico despite being Brazilian-born. This personal animosity adds another layer of intensity to what was already shaping up to be an explosive matchup. When fighters genuinely dislike each other, it often translates to more aggressive performances in the octagon. The stakes couldn't be higher for both men at Noche UFC.
I love all of this. I love being here. I've worked so hard to be here. When I bark, my brother's there with me. We had a dog, and that's bullied when we were young and everything. And when that barking comes up, I have the mental image. I'm with him. He's closer to me than I've ever been. John, where you going?
For Jean Silva, this represents his coming out party as a legitimate title contender. Currently ranked 9th in the featherweight division, a victory over the 4th-ranked Lopes, especially by finish, would likely catapult him into title contention. Silva is already looking ahead, claiming, by the end of the year in December, this division, after 10 years since Jose Aldo, we're going to have a new Brazilian 145-pound UFC champion. For Diego Lopes, this becomes a must-win situation. Coming off a competitive but losing effort against Alexander Volkanovski for the vacant title, another loss could send him tumbling down the rankings and potentially out of title contention for the foreseeable future. Lopes has questioned why Silva needs to be so confrontational, but Silva's confidence seems unshakable. He genuinely believes his opponent's manager was right to be worried about this fight. From a stylistic standpoint, this matchup promises fireworks. Both fighters are known for their finishing ability and all-action styles. Silva has won 13 straight fights, with all 5 UFC victories coming by way of finish. Lopes, despite his recent loss to Volkanovski, showed incredible durability and heart in that title fight. The odds makers are backing Silva as a -192 favorite, with Lopes coming in as a +160 underdog. These odds reflect Silva's momentum and finishing ability, but Lopes has proven he can hang with elite competition. This 5-round main event at the Frostbank Center has all the ingredients for a potential fight of the night bonus. When two fighters who genuinely dislike each other step into the octagon, expect fireworks from the opening bell. September 13th can't come soon enough for MMA fans. Jean Silva has drawn his line in the sand, claiming Diego Lopes signed his own death warrant by taking this fight. Whether Silva can back up his bold predictions remains to be seen, but one thing's for certain. We're in for a war at Noche UFC. Silva believes this victory will fast-track him to a title shot against Alexander Volkanovski. For Lopes, it's about proving he belongs among the elite and getting back on track toward championship gold. This is exactly the type of high-stakes, personal grudge match that makes MMA must-see television. Don't miss UFC Fight Night 259 on September 13th, streaming live on ESPN+. That's all for now from MMA Central. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for more breaking news from the world of mixed martial arts.